Hey there, welcome to Visibility Vixen. We're on episode 17.
Welcome to the Visibility Vixen podcast, where we create space to grow our brand with intention and clarity, one episode at a time. Join us as we explore the many aspects of entrepreneurship, start loving the journey instead of the destination, and begin building a legacy that lasts. Here's your host, Michelle Lewis.
So I'm here on the beach, and I know it's a strange location to do a podcast, but I felt like it was necessary to talk to you here. So you're going to be hearing all kinds of wind and gusts, and I'm sorry about that. But to be more specific, I'm coming to you from a town called Morro Bay, which is up by Pismo Beach, San Luis Obispo. It's a little bit further north, and it's such a beautiful little town. It's just like a sea town. You go and there's fishing boats everywhere, and it's peaceful and it's reflective, and it provides so much space. And I'm coming to you from here because I'm going through one of the hardest times in my life, and I'm not going to get into the specifics of that, but I wanted to talk to you because as we build our business, yes, we're going to have ups and downs, but we're also going to have life. Life happens. People leave, people pass away, horrible things happen, and that's not to say that that's what we should expect, because I don't believe that, but it is something that we are going to have to deal with at one point or another. And if you're not dealing with it, a close friend or loved one is going to deal with it. So today's podcast is going to be a very raw look into how to deal with this kind of pain and how to keep going, because it's something that I know is not only beneficial to me, but will hopefully be beneficial to you, whether or not that's happening in your life right now. And even if it's not, this will be a good one to keep in mind for the future. So when I had this thing happen in my life, I really had to look at, first of all, the most important thing is to stop anything that I could stop in my business so that I could take the time that I needed to heal. So for me, my immediate thought was my body needed support. So I kind of packed a bag and left and tested myself for all the different herbs and foods that my body was going to need during this time. And if I'm panting, it's because I'm walking through the sand. So if you don't know, the body, when it goes through any kind of trauma, it is immediately going into survival mode, fight or flight. It's pumping out tons of testosterone, cortisol, adrenaline. It's on overdrive. And our seven main hormone-producing glands are our pineal, pituitary, thyroid, mammaries, pancreas, kidneys, and ovaries, testes, depending on if you're male or female. So I was acutely aware that something like this, all of my hormone-producing glands are freaking out. So I made sure the pineal gland, it needs light. It needs 10 minutes of sunlight a day in order to function. So I made sure that I was immediately getting out into the sun, because I knew as I was going through these emotional upheavals, I had to give my body all the tools that it would need in order to survive this, right? So I was giving my pineal the 10 minutes of sunlight a day. And then for my pituitary, which is the master gland, I was giving it lemon, either the essential oil or lemon water, so that it could function in the way that it needed to. Of course, there's herbs that are more specific that you can take for that, but I'm just kind of giving the basics that you could either find at, the supermarket or in your closet. So then, and the pineal is how you see your voice, how you see your life, how you are seeing yourself in the future. I did that. Then I knew that I had to support my thyroid. Your thyroid not only helps with your metabolism and so many other functions in the body that I won't get into, but it's also our voice. So when these things happen, our voice really gets stifled, and it's so important that we allow grief to escape, because the body responds to energy. So I was very free with my body to let it know, have the waves of grief come out, and do not store them. I don't want to have to be detoxing my gallbladder or my lungs or my liver. I want to be able to get through this really easily. So I gave it that instruction, and there were hours of time where it needed to grieve, and that was okay, and I gave it that permission. So then the next one that I looked at was my pancreas, which is our balance organ. And of course I knew that that would be severely affected by what had happened. So I made sure to support that with the herb thyme, which you can find as a seasoning at pretty much any store. Just make sure it's organic. So I was taking my thyme tea by just putting that in a tea ball and straining it and putting it in some hot water and making sure that I was being as balanced as I could be given the situation. Then I wanted to really, really work on supporting my kidneys. Your kidneys, oh my goodness, are they important? Your kidneys not only do so many functions in the body, but they stand for your relationships, your friendships, your passionships. That is where trauma gets stored. So I made sure to give my body what it needed, and the herb for that is sarsaparilla. And then lastly, I wanted to make sure that my ovaries were supported, because that's where creation comes from in an obvious way and an energetic way. That's how we create. It's from that physical space in our bodies. So I wanted to make sure to be giving it mangoes and pears and all of that to make sure that I could keep creating. So once I had spent a few days doing this, herbally and for my body, allowing the grief to come out, then I really sat down and went, what do I need right now? And what I needed was space. I felt like I couldn't breathe. So I hopped into my RV and drove up here for a couple days because I needed time. I needed to give myself time. I needed the open air. I needed the sea, and I needed space. So I know that not necessarily all of us can do that, but we can escape to the beach or to the mountains or to the lake for the day, just us, and take that time for ourselves to get some perspective, to allow more grief to come out, to analyze things in a healthier way. So that's the point that I'm at. Last night, I was able to, because I'd done this for myself, I was able to go, okay, I'm not going to fully stop in my business. I'm going to do some content mapping, and I'm going to figure out, okay, I'm going to have this month be about branding. I broke down every day. How often a week was I going to live stream? Did I have a lot of podcasts coming up? I only have a couple because I've already recorded enough to be able to air things through January. So it gave me a lot of time, and I have my lead magnets there. My course is built, so now it's just that daily execution, which I know I can handle that much, and I can handle, hopping on a webinar or hopping on a call. But right now, I'm not at a place to be able to be behind my desk, 9 to 5 like I could have been. Right now, I'm much more conservative to protect myself and my heart and make sure that I'm not stuffing anything. So as an entrepreneur, you're going to have these ebbs and flows, whether it's a big, horrible situation that happens, or if it's just overwhelm and doubt and feelings of failure. Either way, the treatment is very similar. And I'm a very firm believer in we need to practice what we preach. So I felt like it was really important for me to come to you today in all honesty and sincerity, because I know there can be an altered perception. I know that some people can look at how I present myself online and stuff and go, oh, she has everything together and everything's so perfect and blah, 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 blah. That feels furthest from the truth. And I want to tell you that these things happen to all of us, and they're hard and they suck. I don't know why we have to go through them, other than the fact that it, like my friend Miriam says, expands our container. But it also gives us the ability to minister. And that's what I'm doing, coming to you today wherever you are at. So whether you're struggling in your heart because of your business, or maybe you're going through a really challenging time in your life right now, I wanted to be here at Morro Bay looking at this beautiful, huge rock in these crashing waves and give you encouragement and let you know that we all get to this really nasty place, but there's always hope. And the key is to take care of your body, to take care of your heart and your mind, to stay as creative as you can. Just focus on today and wake up and go, what can I create today? Whether it's an actual item in your business, or maybe it's just like me today, going and sitting at a coffee shop. But what I've learned about myself is how much of my life I was living out of duty and obligation, how much I was forcing myself to do because I felt like I had to, and I felt like, being a person of high integrity and unfortunately high expectation, I put so much pressure on myself to not only accomplish everything I want to accomplish, but to force myself into a box sometimes. And as I've been on the beach today and walking down the boardwalk, I've realized I don't want that in my life. My hair right now is wild and free. You can probably see it on Instagram, and it is a complete echo of what my heart wants. It wants adventure, it wants openness and space, it wants creativity, and it just wants to do what it wants to do. So I've, made a promise to my body, mind, and spirit to honor that and to attract more of that in my life. And I'm going to be doing that from now. What my plan is now that I'm out of the survival mode, I'm going to be doing daily meditations. I'm going to be really setting my intention for what I want to create. And a lot of that is passive income. Some of that is traveling and doing destination retreats and group coaching and all of that. So I'm really, really going to put the majority of my work not into executing that, but putting that in the quantum field so that it can come to me in its perfect way. So I hope that this has been meaningful. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me and listen to my heart today. Know that I love you guys. It's all a journey, and I will see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening in today to the Visibility Vixen podcast. Subscribe now and share with a fellow Vixen who wants to start building their visibility. For more fire in your life and brand, visit visibilityvixen.com.